All right, everybody. Hello and welcome to the Frantic Talks podcast. We're on episode, I think it's 19, getting close
I hope
to
it's
being
hope
illegally
it's
able to drink.
ooh.
Might pop open like an Angry Orchard while we're doing it. Like, haha.
We're legal age now, guys.
Yeah. Um. Uh. Happy April. April Fool's Day was yesterday. There were some really funny April Fool's jokes that went around. We might briefly mention that, but as always, I am your host, Frantic. I'm here with my lovely and awesome co-host. His name, of course.
Grunt.
And we are here to talk about, I bet you guessed it, video games and junk. So, let's start this like we always do. Grunt, how was your week?
It was pretty great actually. I spent most of the week playing Destiny, Iron Banner, hitting that up. Should be able to hit rank 5 hopefully either tomorrow, well, tomorrow being Sunday, or Monday.
Tomorrow's
So,
the last day to do it, for those of you who don't know.
yep. I spent last Sunday Easter binging Borderlands thanks to our Borderlands 2 particularly, thanks to our character list. You got me wanting to play that.
Glad that inspired you. Hopefully, inspired
It
others to do things.
it did me. I mean, it was fun. I forgot how you can build Krieg to be an absolute monster.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of really fun builds in that. I never got to the end game of Borderlands or Borderlands 2 or any Borderlands game for that matter, but once I started maxing out characters, like getting close to the end, I realized how dumb it could really be.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I love the games and the story. I just never been able to grind through them like a lot of my friends could, which is really weird because I grind through Destiny like it's my job. It's really weird. I don't quite understand it, but
Borderlands 3 win.
yeah. When's that gonna be? They're too busy working on Battleborn, which comes out
Yeah,
in May. I'm excited to try that out. Hopefully,
it does look interesting. I think they have a open beta this month. As a matter of fact, I'll have to look at that.
sounds about right. I'm gonna adjust my camera real quick. The top of my head's getting cut off. Ah, that works. You can see my shirt.
Also, acknowledge the fact that on Tuesday have been a member of the Bungie forums for the Bungie community for 9 years.
It's quite a while.
Just gonna give that another shout out, like I did last week. Only this time it's been 9 years, not like 9 years and so many days, whatever.
Yeah, if it was Tuesday, then it would be what, 4 days, 5 days,
Yeah, something like that. I don't
five
know.
days because it's Saturday. Which, by the way, if you ever want to listen to this and watch us talk live, go to twitch.tv/FranticJ3 the third every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. That is when we try to get this thing up and going, where we talk and wave at the camera. There he goes. I was wondering when he was going to wave at the camera.
That comes at the end, don't you know?
It always comes at the end. That's very true. If you don't know, there's this little tradition of waving after we say goodbye. So,
Even before we did the video version, it just felt right to wave at the microphone for whatever reason.
yeah. So you had a good week. That's good to hear. I was a
Yes.
part of most of your week, like usual. We tend to play the same games together. Which makes this very varied in terms of what we talk about.
Oh, totally, man. It does though, because when we're not playing Destiny or other games together, we're doing totally different stuff. So
That's very true. Like we only have a few things in common in terms of what we do together, which is Destiny, Halo, and then whatever Xbox game we might be playing at the time, and then writing about the games we play and discussing them. Other than that, I think we have a lot of different interests, I'd say.
oh yeah,
We like the same music for the most part, though.
oh definitely.
Anyways, I'm glad you had a good week. I had a very good week as well in terms of just all kinds of different stuff happening. Um, I was about to say my Easter Sunday went well. Just went and saw family, had some food. My mom organized a an adult Easter egg hunt, which was basically you get a 6 pack of beer and you have to find your six bottles hidden in certain places. It was really funny. I
Nice.
ended up coming in like second. Actually, no, I think I came in first because we couldn't get certain bottles of stuff, so people had to find like these brands of unsweet tea or some crap like that. Because I don't remember the reasoning, but they ended up finding. Someone said they were done, but they found the wrong brand. Like there was a sweet and an unsweet, and they got one of the sweets when they shouldn't have. So I think I theoretically finished first, but you didn't get anything for finishing first besides being able to actually drink it, which I didn't even drink it until that night. So and even I still have 3 or 4 left. So.
Nice.
That was my Easter Sunday. Then we did Iron Banner all this week, like you were discussing. That was up and down here and there. I tweeted about this earlier, but for some reason I cannot win Iron Banner games on my Titan. He's the only one that suffers from this issue. He is there's an Iron Banner weekly challenge that is uh, complete 13 matches and have 7 wins. You don't have to do like you can't. It's not like you can only do 13 matches and you have to win 7 of them. It's just finish 13 matches and you have to have 7 wins. I have completed 13 matches. I've actually completed I think 16 or 17. I currently have 5 wins. It is that bad. Like that is losing twice as many games as I'm winning, which is really rough. And it just got worse today. Me and he who shall not be named were playing before this podcast, and I'd hopped on my Hunter first, won I think 2 of the 3 games that we played, finished her challenges. Hopped on my Titan, we played 6 games, won the last one, and I didn't even get the challenge or the bounty that was win the game with 2,500 points. Didn't even have 2,500, and he didn't either. So it was super bad. And we even
Oh,
left one of the games because it was like we just need to win with 2,500. We hop in, we lose the first. I get 3 kills immediately right off the bat. Lose B to the whoever's left, and then from there it got to 10,000 to 2,000. We were just like, yeah, this is a waste of time, and we
oh,
just quit.
jeez. And there are no mercy rules in the Iron Banner.
There's not. It was out of hand. Like no, I was the highest on the team with 900 points, and they were already in almost to the 2,000s each. It was like this is
Oh,
just pathetic. So we just
Lord.
quit. I don't rage quit, and it was just we wanted to get the bounties done, and this game was a waste of time because we had to win to get the final bounty done. So there was no point in staying.
No, not really.
So it sucked. Uh, Other than that, good stuff on the in terms of like the other things I watched in relation to superheroes. I've talked about Arrow 100 times on here. This week's Arrow was much better than last week's. I won't really go into too much detail.
I was just going to say, I saw you tweet about that earlier in the week that you actually enjoyed this week's episode.
From what I've understood, like the episode was good in my opinion, but at the same time, when you set the bar so damn low from the past 2 episodes, it's kind of hard not to have a good episode. I think. I'm not saying it's a
Very true.
bad episode. It was fine. I enjoyed it. There was some good stuff in it, and a lot of the story arc made sense, and had 0 stupid motivations like has happened before. But anyways, it was good. Um, there was the person everyone's complaining about. Felicity is the hacker of the team, and she has this like assistant who works at her company with her, and he's
Hmm.
really smart with that stuff too. And he stumbles into the Arrow Cave and becomes her replacement, quote unquote, for that episode. And he does a really good job. He's really funny. I laughed out my butt off at him. Really want him to come back and do it again, but it seems like that might not happen, which kind of upsets me. But whatever. It was a lot of fun. He was. And the episode, there was no relationship drama for the most part. There was very little of it, and I think that's what I credit the goodness of the episode to, because we weren't focused on this stupid love story. We were actually focused on the action, which, in my mind, should be the majority of what the show's about, and hasn't been. So, other than
Right.
that, I won't speak too much more into it. Uh, it was a good episode compared to what we've had. Hopefully, it sticks around that way. We find out who dies. Someone's dying. They haven't said who. They will not say who. They've kind of said this person won't by showing them in the scene where they're standing in front of a grave or whatever. Uh, it's just what blows my mind is the people who really love this girl who's causing all this controversy, this Felicity character. There's another character on the show called Laurel. Laurel is who Oliver, which is the Green Arrow, they date in the comics. They always end up together, married, whatever it is. They always pretty much end up together. And Felicity has never been like a person he's dated. And that ever since the show happened in the end of season 2 from then on, it was basically, yeah, we want these two to be together, and they've kind of written them into a relationship. At first, I was okay with it. Now I'm not. If you want to hear my reasons, go to the past 2 podcasts. Basically, I've discussed it there. Anyways, the people who are for this new relationship that's never happened are like cheering for the death of the other girl, who has actually no
Wow.
real. Yeah, they have no real love interest in these in the main character. So she was dating him kind of in the first season because they were dating in the prologue. You know what I mean? Like before season 1 happened, they were dating, whatever.
Right.
And they explain that it's the backstory. They were dating, and he cheated on her and was a douchebag, whatever. And they end up kind of getting together at the end of season 1, and then season 2 happens. She becomes a drunk alcoholic because of a death and is like really depressed and stuff. And they don't really become a thing anymore. So since the beginning, middle of season 2, they have never really been considered a thing besides people who want them to be a thing because the comics say so. And now that we're finding out who's going to die, many of the people who see that as a potential threat to their relationship that they like are just kind of cheering for her death. And it's kind of weird to me. I mean, you can enjoy the show the way you want to, but to me that just seems kind of I don't know the right word. It seems wrong to me, but I don't know the best way to put it. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't want them to be together, that's fine. But to sit there and want her to be dead and off the show seems a little extreme when she isn't even a threat at this point. Besides the fact that canon says she should be. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So that okay. I said I wasn't going to touch on it anymore. That's all I'm going to hit on it. It, you'll have your opinion on it if you're listening. If you have an opinion on it, I'd love to hear it. Um, I'm not going to be hostile like many others will be. It's a TV show. I'm not going to like sit here and say arrow or die. I will show you, however, that I'm a big fan because I know Grunt can't see this, but I do have an Oliver Queen pop vinyl bobblehead in my hand right now. I wish Grunt could see it. You'll have to go back and watch the video. We're at 10.5 minutes, by the way. You go back and
All
watch
right.
the video.
All right. I will. I will do that.
So, oh, and here I'll show off even more. Here, yeah, my girlfriend drew me this picture of the Green Arrow, which I think I tweeted. You might have seen it.
I think so.
So yeah, I like him. I like his stories and stuff. So I'm a fan. Blah blah blah. Anyways, other than that, I went and saw Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, and that was Thursday night. So not very long ago. It's still fresh in my mind. I'll hit on that really quickly, just so you guys know my stance on it. I think it was good. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was kind of like in the middle where it was just like, yeah, I enjoyed myself. It was a fun movie. I have my critiques of it. I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but I will say there was a few things that I can say without going into spoilers. My likes about it, I loved Batman. Ben Affleck is a great Batman. Wonder Woman, we know she's in the movie. We've seen previews of her. She's great. And they unfortunately spoiled this in a trailer, but Doomsday, which is Superman's like opposite essentially, is in the movie. Surprisingly enough, he was pretty awesome. He didn't do too much, and he was in terms of saying anything because he's just a monster, but he was pretty
Hmm.
great. That was a lot of the overall good things was the characters there. A lot of spoilers for the new Justice League movie that's coming out in the next like year or two or whatever. They show a lot of awesome foreshadowing to that, which like got me like hyped, you know. And then there was something else. The dynamic of all the characters in the movie was pretty good. The downsides of the movie, the pacing was so off in my mind. Like they had three different storylines going at once, and each scene connected to each storyline was no more than 2 or 3 minutes each. So we kept jumping from each storyline. They eventually were all connected, but it just felt like they was staggered and it didn't. It wasn't.
Mm.
I don't know. I want to say it wasn't written very well. It just kind of jumped between stuff, and it seemed like we could have saved this 30-second scene of someone doing something for whenever they were doing something else that was 2 minutes long. It just was really weird and staggered like that.
Right.
And that's towards the beginning. At the end, when it gets all into the fight scenes and stuff, it's not disjointed. It's fine. But that was what happened. The other thing is the movie's Batman versus Superman, right? Well, the Batman versus Superman fight lasts like 2 minutes.
Oh,
So,
that's kind of lame.
and the way they get
Really?
out of the fight, I won't spoil it. I'm just me and my girlfriend kind of just laughed at it. We were just like, really?
That's it. That's
That
how they do
that's
that.
that's how they get out of it. It was a really hilarious like the way we discussed it is like in their head it must have been wait a minute, bro, no way. Essentially is how it happens. It's really funny.
Oh
They
my
don't
god.
actually say it like that obviously, but it's pretty much how it goes. And then Jesse Eisenberg plays Lex Luthor. Now, if you don't know who he is, if you've seen The Social Network, he played Mark Zuckerberg, the main character. If you saw Zombieland, he was one of the main people. He was the other.
Oh,
He was the.
oh, oh, oh! I know this. I know this. I
He
love that
was.
movie.
He was the one who wanted to go to Ohio. He was not Tallahassee.
Columbus.
He was Columbus. I thought that was his name.
Columbus.
That's Jesse Eisenberg, right? So he
Ah,
plays Lex
yes.
Luthor. He's got hair about as long as mine, a little shorter, and he is the best Riddler I've ever seen.
Oh man.
He's not a classic Lex Luthor character at all. He's a very different take on it that seems like they were trying to copy what Marvel has done in terms of success with making their more serious villains uh quippy. So
Hmm.
like taking Ultron, who was supposed to be like monotone and scary, and turning Ultron into this like quipper who like says funny stuff. Which they did, and I think it worked fine. I had no problem with it, but with Lex Luthor and Jesse Eisenberg, it just did not work the way it should have, or it really should have just been a classic Lex Luthor. We haven't really had one of those besides the what was it, the Superman Returns movie in like 2005, and I didn't even see that movie. So
Right.
I still stick behind whoever it was that suggested Bryan Cranston as Lex Luthor, bald Bryan Cranston, because that would have been amazing.
I mean,
Someone put like a trailer together of Man of Steel, some of the early Batman vs Superman trailer stuff with Batman in it, and then Breaking Bad Bryan Cranston all in one, and it was just so great.
oh my god. Sounds like
So
I'd be.
it's amazing. Like whoever did that is a genius and needs to be hired as a casting person for the next Batman movie or whatever, or next Superman movie, or next time we reboot it, whatever. Bryan Cranston would probably be too old at that point, but whatever. Anyways, yeah, I would recommend it if you enjoy superhero movies. It's definitely not a terrible movie by any means. It's a lot of fun. It has a lot of foreshadowing for the next movie. It made enough money to where it will definitely continue them on to hopefully a better streak. Although I can say I'm absolutely certain I am not a fan of Zack Snyder as a movie director for superhero movies. This isn't his first one. I can't remember all the ones he did off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure he did some of the X-Men movies. Let me go
Mm.
check. But basically, it's he just has not been my favorite. I'm gonna look it
Mm.
up real quick. So, Zack Snyder, director of something else. I forget what else. All right, Wikipedia. Way to just tell me he's an American director. I kind of knew that.
Hey,
I think he
you
directed
learned
Man of
something.
Steel, which was the original, like the starting point
Right.
of Batman vs Superman. Oh, I'm a liar. I'm a big fat liar. He directed Watchmen. That's one of my favorite movies ever.
Weren't we just talking about that the other day?
Yeah, how
Like
I
last
like
night,
Green.
as a matter of fact.
Yeah, we were. I love Watchmen. He that was a good movie. Whether if you liked it because it was too close to the comics or whether you hated it because of how close it was to the comics is regardless. It's a good movie. Um, in my mind,
I,
it's one of the best,
I,
but whatever.
I actually need to see that movie. I've heard.
It's rated R
Uh,
for a reason. I'll just say that.
well, I'm pretty sure I'm old enough to watch R-rated
Oh, I know
movies.
you are. I'm
So
just saying. I don't know if I would watch it with my parents, which is what I did. I don't know if I'd say someone else to do that because I was like 15 or 16 when it came out. Let me do the math. 16 when it came out. So,
yeah,
anyways, yeah, he's done Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman. He did the original 300. He did Watchmen. He
oh,
did the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
the
Uh,
original. Okay,
which basically up until Watchmen, honestly, those three movies are actually pretty great. But
the 300 movie was very good. I liked it.
yeah, Man of Steel. I liked Man of Steel, but I know its problems. And then if you have an issue with the Man of Steel movie, by the way, there's a really good. It was an Imager, however you want to say it, where it was discussing like the director's cut of everything, and he explains each scene, and it made me appreciate it a little more. Like, oh, I guess I never looked at it that way. But overall, it was a good movie, but had its issues. It's the same, honestly. Batman vs Superman and Man
Mhm.
of Steel, I feel exactly the same about. Good, but had its issues. So
Right.
enough of on the junk that we always talk about. Let's get into the lovely video games that we love to talk about on here. Uh,
We
so
talk about video games.
I know, right? We always spend the first 15 to 20 minutes discussing basically superhero stuff at this point. It hasn't really been anything different.
Ah,
So let's jump into what I have on screen right now. And one of the two things that we'll be talking about today, the first thing obviously being the Halo Waypoint update. It's called Waits, and it discusses the new update that is coming called Ghosts of Meridian. It will be adding two new maps and more rec packs, of course. That's basically it, right? There's not really much
mm,
else.
that's what you told me earlier before we started this.
Yeah. So we can go ahead and go down through this. This probably won't take too long because we have something else lovely coming after this that we're going to spend the majority of our time talking about, which is quite fine. But anyways, Warzone Turbo was actually just recently released. It's kind of a part of the update, but it came early.
Hmm.
Warzone Turbo is. Do you want to describe it or do you want me to describe it?
Warzone Turbo. It's once you capture your home base, you instantly start at level 9
Hmm.
requisition level or whatever. Rec level 9, I guess is what the technical in-game term for it is.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Um, so if you've ever, gotten a whole bunch of level 9 recs to use, now's the time to use them. Also, it
Yep.
has, from what I've heard, it has a increased charge rate for your rec level because when you use one, you like use that charge,
Hmm.
so you have to recharge back up to that
Excuse me.
level. So it's either instantaneous, which I don't think it would be, or it's greatly increased. I can't remember how 343 puts that, but
They
basically
said
it's
it's
a
almost
lot.
instant,
Yeah,
is how they word it.
it's a lot more. It charges quicker than what it does in compared to like basic Warzone, I would guess.
Hmm.
So sounds weird, but I bet it would be kind of fun. I haven't tried it yet,
Yeah, it
so
sounds chaotic, and it seems like it would be a lot of fun. Like they describe it as like Fiesta Mayhem style
hmm.
in terms of just what's all going on, because it's just like everybody has these random power weapons and Scorpion tanks probably, and we're
Yeah,
all just like
that's
fighting and going crazy. I mean, you'd burn through your tanks really fast, I'd imagine, so you have to buy packs. So
yeah. That was my biggest thing about it when I first heard about it. Uh, like, this is going to be nothing but a Scorpion fest. That sounds weird.
And this could bring up a very valid argument, but not in the sense of. Well, basically, it brings up the argument that you could be paying to win because you can buy rec packs. And in this specific game mode, the more recs you have, the
Better
better
off you're
you could be doing.
doing.
Yeah, the better off you are essentially. It
Yeah.
still comes down to you being able to use those weapons, but someone with half a pint of skill could go in with $100, spend it on however many gold packs you get from that. I think it's like 50 something or 80 something. It's something stupid high, and then you
Mm,
just have
yeah.
infinite amount of stuff. It would seem. I mean, if you're gonna spend $100 on a video game like that, I wouldn't recommend it, but some people do that. You love the
I
game
mean,
enough and want to give the money to the developers and the people who play tournaments in it. Go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you. I wouldn't do it, but I'm sure you get a lot of rec point and experience turnout at the end of it, just like you do in regular Warzone, where
right.
you can basically
Plus,
buy a gold pack every 2 or 3 games.
yeah. Plus, you can always use your boosts, your
Right.
rec point boosts in the games if you have them.
Which
So
the most I've ever gotten from like a legendary boost was like 12,000 or some stupid high like that. It was really dumb.
I've
And that might have been
gotten like
experience. It's been a lot.
13, I think, from it.
hmm
And I don't know what I did to deserve 13,000
Yeah.
rec points, but I
It's
wasn't
the
complaining.
legendary ones, like those are just crazy.
Oh yeah.
So, but anyways, if you want to do that, it is up and live. I believe it's a permanent playlist. It's not rotating because there's like 2 other Warzone playlists to begin with. So that's
I think it was weekend playlist. Let me see.
it says it's the featured Warzone playlist.
All right. I could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time.
It says available this weekend for the first time, so it might only be a weekend thing.
Go on.
So
No.
uh,
Internet is fighting me right now.
it's only going to be available till Monday, April 4th. So if
That's
it
what
was
you
a
get,
permanent
internet.
if it was a permanent playlist, then the pay to win would be applied. But I believe since it's just a weekend thing, it's not
Right.
as nearly as bad.
Yeah.
And it could be a way for them to grab at money if they really want to do that. Like, go buy rec packs all the time. I doubt they would do that, but it's hard not
Hmm.
to think of the possibilities, in my mind.
I don't know. I would hazard a safe guess that you probably would see a slight increase. Nothing too noticeable, but a slight increase in purchased rec packs
Yeah.
because people might not have the stuff, but if they can get it from a rec pack, and this is the only chance or one of the few chances they get to use it, I'd probably do that if I had the money laying around. But
That's a good point.
I mean, I
I
don't know if
yeah,
I.
I don't think it would be too much of an increase. So
No, it wouldn't be noticeable to where they'd bring it back and say, "Hey, this actually earned us a lot of money this weekend."
right.
It'd
I
just
mean,
be like, "Oh, we noticed an increase in bought purchase purchased rec
bracket
packs."
points. Yep. I
I
would
mean, if you
think
know how to use some of the stuff you get from them, yeah, you could wreck everything, but
I would say it as a timed exclusive could potentially grant them more than if it was a permanent playlist.
right,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like if you only have to spend money one weekend instead of every week to be able to compete, I think that would be how it would work. Kind of like the
right.
Griffball
That's
Double XP weekend once a month, where it's like they get a huge influx in that playlist. It could be something similar.
right.
So,
That's pretty much how I think it would be too.
mhm.
But even at that, I don't think it would be that noticeable.
Yeah.
Because, like you said
It,
earlier, you earn rec points fairly quickly. So,
mhm.
maybe 2, 3 games at most, and you have another gold pack. So,
Yep. Which, by the way, if you never listened to us talk about Warzone, Warzone Assault and Warzone Regular are pretty great if you want to go do that. Gain some rec points and experience in a pretty quick pace. I wouldn't do Warzone; it just takes too long in my mind. But Warzone Assault, you can have it done in 6 to 10 minutes and gain a lot of points from it.
yeah.
Highly recommend it. Anyways, we'll move on to the next little bit on here, which talks about Ghost of Meridian. It will drop next week. So that is the week of April, starting on Monday, it would be April 4th to like April,
Something. April something.
that Friday would be the 9th, so like April 10th, 12th, it's 10th or 11th, something like that.
It'd be the 4th. The next
4th to the 10th.
Saturday is actually the 9th. So,
Oh, I can't
Friday would
math,
be the 8th.
clearly. Oh yeah, April 4th to the 10th, so somewhere in that week, probably on April 6th, because they like to drop it on Wednesday, correct?
That's what I've seen.
You're
Patterns.
you're the one that predicts it, so.
All right, all right, here we go. You're hearing it. April 6th,
April
Ghost
6th.
of Meridian update.
All right, I got it
Watch it
written
come out
down.
the 5th.
Unless you're watching the video and you saw I didn't write anything down. I got a pen now. I'm gonna write that down. Scribble, scribble, scribble. We're good.
This reminds me of the notes from our dungeon master.
Oh gosh. I'm still not gonna say his name, but we did have a fun D&D experience this past week. Long story short, I tried to tell everybody what had happened because everyone forgot what happened besides me because magic, and they didn't believe me. So I told them I had a hot cousin in some city that we had to go save.
Red Hawk, I think was the name of the city.
The city was called Red Hawk, and there was some like clan. There's like some cult there that we have to like stop. And I was like, oh yeah, they kidnapped my hot cousin. Trust me, she's hot. You guys will like her because I'm super creative. And so I tweeted, really hoping this hot cousin thing works out. It got like 5 or 6 favorites from people that I think understood it was a joke, and a few people replied like, "What?" And Grunt was like, "That's pretty great out of context." Yeah.
I mean, no context needed, none whatsoever.
Are we gonna name this episode "Hot Cousin"?
I don't know.
Good.
To kick things off, though, for that night, 5 minutes into the session, I talked to a bendy straw.
I missed it because I was watching Batman vs Superman. But yeah, discussing with
Basically,
the Bendy Straw.
I wanted to talk to one of our other party members that was playing, and I said, I'm going to go talk to this person and the bendy straw. And our dungeon master said, you want to talk to the bendy straw? And I'm like, I need to keep my mouth shut.
Takes everything literally.
He does. Which I'm okay with that because it creates some really hilarious situations. Like I have a lawsuit pending against me that's going to come back to bite me later on. I know it will.
Oh yeah, lawsuits in medieval times, real things, real things. Anyways,
Yeah.
we're gonna move on to this through this update here. Tyrant is a new map. It is a Forerunner station that has crashed into an asteroid belt. Doesn't really tell us too much beyond that, but basically, you can see some cool screenshots. I'm scrolling down the screen through. It's in space, obviously. There's a really big sun in the background, so it reminds me of that Forge map. Because there's a Forge canvas where that's one of the background options, so it's probably built in that, I'd imagine. So that's a thing.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have the picture pulled up in front of me, but based on your description, I would hope they're not just creating maps using Forge. But I mean, it's a plus and it's a con for me, if you ask. In my mind, it's great because it shows what Forge can really do. It can create brand new maps that look like they were, created with using their map designing tools on their dev kits or however they create maps. I don't know.
They probably have some sort of like map maker.
Probably
I would imagine.
an actual program that they can use to create maps and whatnot. But it's also like, really, that's all we're gonna get.
Forge maps. I mean, they're free. We're not paying for them.
Yeah, so that's why I can't complain too much about it. So.
I mean, I think it's cool. I would much prefer at this point less 343 maps and more community maps, which they seem to be putting a lot of community maps into the playlist, which is great.
Right.
It furthers the feeling of community,
right,
in my mind. So, anyways, there's a couple screenshots there. I'm sure you'll get on April 6th a great chance to play them. Skirmish at Dark Star is the other map. And it's actually kind of cool what they're introducing with this map. First off, it's more focused on infantry than vehicles. You can still use vehicles, obviously, but they wanted it to have a more smaller focus, I guess is the best way to put that. They say it's the most condensed Warzone map yet, and that's how they titled that. It adds in kind of 3 new things to the Warzone experience. A new start, 2 new legendary bosses, and an interactive gate, which... The third one, interactive gate, is basically just a button you push to change how the map is laid out, but not in a crazy way. Kind of just like on the Halo 2 map Zanzibar or the Halo 3 map Last Resort, where you just click the button and it pops open a gate. That's essentially how that works.
Right.
But the new start sounds kind of cool. You both teams spawn in, and there's a central point that a Promethean scout and his forces have control over. And whatever team takes down the Promethean scout and his forces, or maybe just the Promethean scout, doesn't really say specifically. Whoever takes it down first gets the initial advantage. And then the 2 new legendary bosses are what I find interesting. There's one that is basically a higher ranked knight called Endurance of Will. He's just significantly tougher than your normal knight, I guess. But
I like the name of it.
Yeah, he sounds really cool in the name at least. And the one I'm excited about is the Promethean soldier who's hijacked a UNSC Mantis. That seems
That
pretty
sounds
freaking sweet.
terrifying.
Oh yeah, it sounds scary as hell, but it seems awesome that that
Oh yeah,
exists. So
oh yeah,
it says to me that they're willing to explore unique ways of integrating enemies into Warzone instead of just spawning waves of enemies in a vanilla map. It seems like they
right,
want
and
this map to be a little more involved in terms of everything, I guess.
right, and I'm really hoping that this is maybe either like a testing ground to see how an enemy would work against players. An enemy like that would work against players
Hmm.
for Warzone Firefight coming out whenever
Oh,
it comes out.
I'm sure it is, honestly.
Because I would love to fight. I'll probably end up fighting that map if I or fighting that map. I mean, I could fight the map. I do have problems jumping in games, so fight that boss in that on that map. But I hope it'd be cool to see something like that in Firefight, like a
Yeah,
boss at the end of a round or whatever. However they decide to do that.
I think that would be definitely really cool. Here's hoping they do that to make it better than just straight up firefight. Where, I mean, honestly, make it more like Prison of Elders, where you get a boss kind of towards the end, you know.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
So that seems really cool. I don't know if I will get the chance to play it on the 6th or whenever it comes out, in the next week or so. But sounds really interesting. I've yet to play on a lot of the new maps. All my time has been put into Destiny, as will the next half of this podcast once we're done here. But they have a couple of screenshots here on screen if you can see them on their waypoint on the waypoint side if you can't see them if you listen to this audio only. It's just a couple of cool shots of guys fighting. There's a mantis being hijacked, which could be the Promethean Scout in the new Hannibal skin mantis, which is that like very light brown, creamish color with light blue and black or really dark gray that we discussed last week and showed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then there is another one of a Gauss Warthog, it looks like, next to a tank, and they're kind of just fighting. It looks like they're not fighting each other; they're fighting whatever's in front of us.
I was gonna say Tank's going to win.
Oh, yeah, tank will win easily, one
You know,
shot.
the whole Scorpion beats everything.
Mhm.
Tank beats everything. How does that line go? Tank beats everything.
Yeah, it's just tank beats. Anyways, there's as we move on through, there's the Ghost of Meridian Wreck reveal where it shows us all the new Wreck stuff that's coming. Um, there isn't too much in terms of interesting things. It's just new stuff that is more peripheral than anything. There is the Dynast armor set, which I think we covered last week, just kind of looks silly in my mind. It is not really something I want. And the Mark V Alpha Reflex armor, which I think we saw the helmet.
I think we saw the entire set of it last week.
Either
Maybe
way,
we'll just we'll go on the side of caution and assume we saw the helmet only.
okay. Yeah, it looks. I don't know if it's his accent color, but it's blue. He's blue, and then there's accents of yellow on it, which I'd imagine is a secondary color.
Right.
It has like a hex pattern going across it, and it's basically it. The helmet isn't. It's like a Mark V spinoff. It doesn't remind me of Mark V from like Halo 1 or even the ones you could get in Halo 3.
Mm-hmm.
It looks interesting, I guess. Another one I'm not too excited to try and get at all. And it says the two new maps, Warzone Skirmish at Darkstar, and then Tyrant is an arena map, followed by, oh, excuse me, a 3 new skins for your Gravity Hammer. There's the Corpse Maker, which is red, white, and gray. Looks like a little bit of hint of yellow on it. Can't really describe the pattern, to be honest. There is a Grinder skin, which is red, yellow, maybe gold, and white. Majority of the hammer is white with this accent of red and gold. It's like kind of like a hot rod almost, but I guess not. And then Tartarus' Gavel, which we did show off last week. That was one of the only things spoiled out of this. It's like red and black and maybe a little bit of looks like gold outline or trim essentially.
Yeah.
And then there's
Gold trim.
yeah, gold trim. And then there's 2 new suppressor skins. There's Song of Peace, which is uncommon. It's like orange and gray, I think is that color. Would be the best guess. And then there's Razor's Edge, which is also, it's very similar, but it's got like a hint of light blue and it's darker gray than the other one. And then there is a new skin for all the starting weapons called Blue Steel, which is primarily white with a hint of blue and the rest is gray. And that is for the assault rifle, battle rifle, DMR, pistol, and SMG. And then the
Sounds
Hannibal,
cool.
it does look actually kind of cool. I kind of want one of those. There's the Hannibal skin, which we talked about last week. That was spoiled. It's for the Mantis and Scorpion. There is the Dynast and Mark V helmet and stuff. Like that was all related to it with a couple of different versions of the stuff. Followed by a straight up blue visor. I don't know if we actually had some sort of blue visor, but it's called Glacier, and it's literally just blue. So I'm really surprised that didn't exist.
Uh, I'm kind of glad because I rocked a blue visor in Halo Reach
Hmm.
most of the time, so I'm kind of glad that's coming back.
I was all over black or gold. Those are the two I liked.
I can't. Didn't I have like a matte black one? Well, I think that was the black one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's the one I used last because I'm like, that looks cool. I have the
I,
credits. I'm gonna buy it
I loved the description of it. It was just like you can have it any color you want as long as it's
as long
black.
as it's black. Yep.
Next up, there's two assassinations. Can't really describe either of them. There's fisticuffs, which is looks like he's punching him on the ground. I don't know what that would be exactly. Then there's take a look, which I really can't describe. He's just kind of like holding his head, holding the other guy's head. That's about all I can tell. Maybe he's like stabbing him in the head or something.
That. Hmm. Interesting.
I don't know. There's a new armor ability called Grenadier, which you would get in Warzone, probably around Rec level 5 or 6, which I'm going to assume ups the damage of your grenades. There is
Oh God, no.
it doesn't look like it's giving you an extra grenade. I'm pretty sure it's just upgrading your damage. So look
Oh
forward to
no.
that.
Oh
There's
no.
Pink Mist, which is a stance where you're holding a needler, and there are 6 new emblems. The Soul, which is like the ninja star looking thing. There's Distraction, which is just a smiley. Well, it's not. It's like a tongue sticking out emoji, essentially.
It's probably the actual distraction medal because I think that's what it looks like.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is what it is. There's Super Combine, which is a rag doll being hit by needles, which is like the needler explosion, is what the name comes from. The Dog Pound, is that what that says?
I don't know. I don't have it pulled up.
Okay, I think it's a dog pound. It's a bulldog. There's Steaktacular, which we discussed last week, and then there's Money Eights, which they show later on. So I'll just discuss that when it shows up. And then we get closer looks at the Blue Steel, the Tartar Scavel, Grinder, and Corpse Maker grab hammers, Song of Peace, and Razor's Edge, which are the suppressors. And then the Money Eights, put your money where your mouth is a description. It's a legendary emblem where there's just an eight with dollar sign, essentially, like how you push slashes through a dollar sign. Pretty sure
Hmm.
that's some form of currency in the Halo universe. It looks super familiar. I'm just gonna say that.
Hmm.
But other than that, it goes on to show Community Spotlight. If you want to catch more of this stuff and them discussing it more, Tuesday, April 5th, they'll be going over it at 3 p.m. Pacific time on twitch.tv/Halo, which means potentially your April 6th will be correct because they will discuss everything, or at least they'll be going over it in much more depth than we just did.
Well, last time with the last update, they uh, said we're ready to ship the or put the update out soon, and by soon we mean tomorrow. And bam, the update came out the following day. So
Well, then your prediction is probably right.
here's hoping.
Yeah, here's definitely open because this all looks pretty sweet. Like last but not least is Community Spotlight. There is Griff Skip Ball, which is terribly named, but it is
Indeed.
Griff Ball in the form of basketball, which I remember this existing in Halo 3 and Halo 4. I don't know if it existed in Reach. Halo 3 was
Mm,
really weird, but in Reach, you could do a ricochet where you threw the ball.
Halo 4, not Reach.
That's what I meant. I don't know why I said Reach. I was thinking, you know what? Not even going to describe why. But anyways, yeah, it's Griff Ball with basketball. There was actually a league going around in Halo 4. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And then this Gisau, Gesau, it is a YouTube channel where they do a lot of cool Forge stuff. I didn't really watch the video. I follow Forge Hub on YouTube, and they post a lot of cool stuff, so I imagine it's probably similar. But the picture looks like a recon helmet holding two kill balls, like a really weird Spartan-looking character. So don't know what that is.
Sounds ominous,
It
but
is,
I mean, anything with the word kill ball in it is ominous.
yes.
Those things are terrifying.
And then the play of the week, I'll go ahead and just describe to you because it's a GIF and I don't know how well it's going to show on stream. But basically, the guy kills somebody, takes their sniper, and then sniper shots somebody. Well, sniper melee combo, so you snipe him and melee him for an instant kill, and then jumps backwards and snipes a guy directly above him who was jumping above him to either ground pound or was just for some reason up there. It's pretty quick and pretty cool. I couldn't do it, but props to him.
Oh yeah.
All right, so now we're going to get on to the fun stuff. And by fun stuff, I mean the Bungie April update that we discussed last week, and we learned so much more this past Wednesday on their stream that it's kind of great. So I'm gonna let Grunt take over here and discuss some of the kind of like the overall like changes, and then we'll get more in depth on each one.
So yeah, basically, as you know, with the April update, it's coming out April 12th. Just in case you need a gentle reminding, it
Which is like a Wednesday, right?
Tuesday,
Tuesday. I
Wednesday,
just looked.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah, whatever.
The first
It's
day
coming
you're
out
free.
Tuesday though. The first day of April. Let's not go back into that. Calendar is perfectly safe where it is. Don't change it.
Oh. Oh, I would love to talk about that, but basically, really quick, someone suggested a 13-month calendar, every month having 28 days, and it mathematically and logically works, but no one wants it. We don't like change.
No,
I'm for it, but what does my opinion matter?
we
Anyways,
have a time change every season that screws up with enough people. So
we don't even need that time change. Like, we scientifically don't need it, but we're gonna continue with Bungie and Destiny.
are we now?
Mm-hmm. Enough sidebars.
So their stream this past Wednesday, the March 30th,
Mm-hmm.
showcased the new things to earn in it, which showed off. It mainly showed off new armor because that's changing a little bit. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
A few new weapons, and then later that day and some on Thursday, they spoiled some of the new exotics, or not new exotics, some of the returning exotics from year 1 to year 2 levels. To start things off with, Chroma is now a new material that will enable you to add a luminous glow to your character. So
I have on screen right now, some of these armors have like blue hints or red hints to them. That's Chroma.
Yep. I'm pretty anxious about that because that looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to maybe try out that blue with the Dead Orbit armor.
Oh yeah, that's gonna look sweet.
Yeah, with one of their shaders. I think Revenant, which looks like that's what they got on that one picture.
I will almost only ever use red.
Oh yeah, red will look great. I mean, red looks good with most things.
That's also
in
true.
This game. It's not tied to just armor though. Some weapons. I don't know. I don't think they mention which weapons exactly.
I think it's all the returning year 1 legendaries.
Let me see here. Chroma can be added to weapons, allowing you to customize the look of your gun for the first time. So, I know one of their new scout rifles, that's Prison of Elders, allows you to add a chroma to it because that's what they showed off. How that will work is you'll go into your armor to upgrade it, like you want to change a perk on it or something, and there will be a new column on there that will have the chroma. It'll if it's a chroma compatible armor, it will randomly roll with a pre-selected chroma. So
and there are 4.
And there are 4: red, white, blue, and yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure I name the right colors. But you can have it where you can have a piece of armor roll with like a yellow chroma. And you have to have a, let's see, what is it? Chroma material, I think is what it is. But it's basically like a yellow chroma. If you have one of those in your inventory, you can use that yellow chroma to activate that yellow chroma node on your armor and have the glow. Yep. You can also change that. Underneath your chroma node, one below it, there will be a little like option there to deactivate chroma. You will lose the active chroma if you have on there, so that yellow chroma that you put on there, it will be no longer there, and you will lose it. So just as a heads up.
And it's instant, so.
And it's instant, yes. There's no having to push and hold the button like to dismantle a weapon. It's just you select it and bam, you have a new chroma and you lose your old one.
Mm-hmm.
It, I think, costs 100 glimmer to roll it, so it's not that much.
Yeah, it's not like having to re-roll exotics or anything. I'm pretty sure it's 100 real glimmer. You just
so
re-roll until you get your color. It's not going to be too hard to get it unless you only have 1,000 glimmer.
Yeah, but it will roll. You select that. When you deactivate a chroma, it will get rid of the one you have on there now. So like I said, if you have yellow chroma, it will be gone. You'll lose that yellow chroma material forever. Don't cry. because
You'll
get
get
more.
plenty of it.
You'll get plenty more. It sounds like it's going to be the material is going to be something that you get frequently.
Hmm.
But then you can change it to blue or red or white or yellow again. It randomly re-rolls it again to get a different chroma. Like on the stream, they showed it off, and the one person got yellow, yellow, blue, red, red, white.
Hmm.
So
He was
it's
trying to get
definitely
the one color, and it took him 5 or 6 tries. But
right. So it's random, but it doesn't cost much to re-roll it, and a
and
lot
there's
of
only
people like
four, so your odds are pretty likely to get what you want in a few couple rolls.
right. So, and I'm assuming that would work the same as weapons because they showed a scout rifle that had a little fallen sigil on it, and it was white, and then they re-rolled it to red, and they re-rolled it to blue, then they re-rolled it back to red because red looked the best.
Hmm.
So there's that. That's probably one big thing. Um, I'm not sure if it will be. If, the way I'm thinking it will work is you'll have two like sets of armor.
Hmm.
You'll have your basic stuff like you have now that has no chroma active, no whatever. And then you'll have like a chroma compatible set, which will allow you to put a chroma on there. So you can basically get the original armor or you can get the fancy looking new armor.
Hmm.
Um, but since it's a node, it could just be all compatible. And if you don't want the chroma on there, don't activate the node. It's as simple as that, which would be totally easier in my mind, thinking
Yeah.
about it.
I want to point out something really quick. All the screenshots that are shown on screen right now have one single chroma on going. So like every one of them, the hunter is in yellow, the titan is in blue, and the warlock
Oh,
is in
yes.
red. That's definitely not the case. You can actually each piece of armor can actually have a different color. So if you
Right.
want to look like a rainbow, you can. It's just they show off all of them in one to show you kind of like what you would
A
typically do.
uniform.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
a
more
uniform.
uniform. And
You
to
can
give you an
have.
idea of what he means by deactivating, on the warlock on screen right now, he has this like line going down his helmet that is red. When you deactivate that, that just goes black. And
Right.
if you wanted to keep all the red but have a blue line there, you could re-roll the helmet to have a blue line, and then everything else would stay red. Or you could deactivate everything and just have a blue line.
Right.
It's pretty cool a lot of the different stuff you can do. You can have just your legs light up, or just your arms, or something like that, or have half your body lighted up.
Right. I think it's great because it's allowing people more customization that they've always really wanted.
Hmm.
And, we're getting farther and farther away from having the same looking Guardians. So,
Yes, it's very
because,
true.
you know, armor catches on with popular perks that are great for the Crucible or raids and whatnot. And I don't know if old armor, I don't think it will. I think it'll just be new armor that has the chroma compatible stuff.
Hmm.
Um, but you have all that stuff, and then you get into a game and you have like 6 Titans in there or 6 Warlocks. Screw hunters, by the way. Hashtag space magic. But you're getting away from them all looking the same, and you can look at a character and recognize, oh hey, I know that's Frantic because he's got the red and white chroma on, or that's he who shall not be named, he's got the yellow chroma on. And this is where he'll probably tell me after the podcast, I hate yellow.
He probably does. Although he wants a Doctrine really bad, and Doctrines are yellow, so
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I want a Doctrine too.
they're good.
Oh yeah.
I have one.
But I have one. I'm Frantic. I have one.
I I got it on my first the first trials I ever did. It just dropped for me. It was like, I don't know what you guys are complaining about. Like,
I don't even know why I want one. I hate auto rifles.
I don't like auto rifles at all. That's the only one I will use. It's not even an auto rifle. It's a laser. Like,
Yeah,
it's not
it
even
is.
fair. Anyways.
Moving on. One thing they will be introducing now is Sterling Treasure. They are a source of new chroma, new armor, ships, sparrows, and boosts.
I was
And
just
by
about to ask,
boosts,
how do we get this lovely stuff?
and boosts will be like reputation boosts.
Which is really cool,
So
by the way. I'm excited about that. Even though, spoiler alert, they're also increasing reputation gains in general.
right, which we'll get to that here probably after this, because they gave a breakdown of all of it, and I'll go through that quickly.
Hmm.
Um, but the boosts, the reputation boosts, they allow you to gain an increased reputation amount for a set time. I think they said like a half hour, so 30 minutes.
Hmm. Kind
For
of like
you and
telemetries.
yeah, for you and everyone on your fire team. So if we would party up and go run like the Crucible or the Prison of Elders, whatever, we would gain the increased reputation from the new levels that they're boosting it up to, and whatever the boost would give us too. So
Yeah.
basically, you can get faction packages quicker.
Oh my God. Like, okay, so quick sidebar. I said we weren't going to sidebar. I have my window open because it's kind of warm in here, and a gigantic gust of wind just happened outside, and it sounds like a. It's just like like everything's going nuts out here.
Oh, it's been windy here all day. My basketball hoop, which we have by our garage, is now right outside of our back window. So, and our garage is like 30 yards away from our back window. So, yeah,
I'm good.
yeah, no, not good.
We had
Uh,
a. I'm not even going to talk about it. Go ahead. Continue.
uh, Before I get to the reputation increases,
Hmm.
the way you get these sterling treasures is by playing one match in the weekly Crucible playlist, which is going to be featured in the director like it always is now. You play one match in there, and you will get one of those plus your legendary marks from it. You complete a level 41 version of the Prison of Elders, which is like the new 28. It has matchmaking and all that stuff. Or you'll just get one in your postmaster in the tower
So
or
you
the
get one
reef.
every week in your postmaster as long as there's room.
Right. And you can get one every week through those methods. So basically, it's three per week that you get.
Hmm. And
You
what
can
level do these drop at?
the items in these, the armor that can get from these, and then the um, yeah, armor. That's all that's being included in there.
Yeah, it's just
Is
armor.
light level 3.
Well, that seems useless. What if I wanted to be like level 30, 30 or something like that? How do why do I gotta infuse something and get it to level 175? You know, I gotta infuse like six things, don't I?
Yeah, yeah. You kind of. No, you don't. No, you don't have to. Not anymore. The infusion rate is now being improved to a 1-to-1 ratio. Infuse that light level 335 helmet into that light level 3, and you're going to get 335
From the level 3.
from the
So
level
no
3.
longer needing you need less infusion fodder basically. So
Yep.
we
Which is
have the
great. It's
yeah.
well needed. I had a rocket launcher a few weeks ago that
Oh, I
was
remember
290.
this.
Yeah, yeah. Was 293. I wanted to infuse a 295 machine gun. I got into it. I got 294.
Your face when you said that. It's just immediate like just dip in
It,
emotion. It was
it
like, I really
was.
wanted to do this. And this game fucked me. It's
It,
basically
it,
how that
it
just
did.
happened.
I wasted 3 legendary marks to get one level.
Oh man.
God. Oh, plus the weapon parts, the glimmer, the mode of light, whatever
All
else I
that, yeah.
needed. It's I
So
when
what
they
so
when they
go ahead.
when they said infusion ratio is now 1-to-1, I instantly thought of that, and I'm like, darn you, Bungie.
But it's also good because now you don't need a. So you have a 290 weapon. You don't need a 300, a 305, a 310 to get it to 310. You just need a 310.
Right.
Which brings me to my next point that what we are all doing in terms of saving exotic engrams.
Right.
Um, this has a little bit to do with that, and a little bit to do with the fact that year one exotics are returning. Some of them are, which we will go over here in a minute. But if you're using 3 of coins like we do, and you're getting a lot of exotic engrams, which you really should be doing honestly, to get shards or exotic parts, exotic things you don't have yet. Save those engrams until the updates. That way you can potentially get some of the newer stuff. And if they potentially increase the light level they decode at, you can also get them at a higher light level just to begin with.
Right.
I'm seeing the light level that we're getting now, like 290 or 310, not being as much of an issue anymore because we can literally just get something at a high level and infuse it immediately.
Right.
So it's less of a strain in that sense because you don't have to like roll the dice and hope you get a 310 drop from your exotic engram instead of a 290 because either way it doesn't actually matter.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which was a
So
little upsetting that I just got 315 Radiant Dance Machines, and now they're gonna just. I mean, I can infuse them either way, but it was like, oh my god, that just happened, and now they're just
it
like
was it was similar to this. Oh yay! I got radiant dance machines from my uh
silver tier,
bronze silver tier. Yay! Radiant dance machines. Holy cow! They're 315.
like
It
cream
was
my
like
pants. It was the first above 300 drop, above 310 drop besides two ghost shells that I've gotten at that high.
right. It was like it was like disappointment to gratification in an instant.
Yeah, because I
Like,
already had 310 radiant
yay.
dance machines from another engram, and then it dropped, and I was like, oh my god, this is no backup plans all over again. Which, if you don't remember, everyone, I've pulled three 310 no backup plans from gauntlets, Gazada gauntlets, and it was all in a row. It was great infusion material, but I was just like, oh damn it. And then I saw 315 and was like, oh not damn it.
It's pretty much how it went.
Which, by the
Yeah,
way, the 310 ones I had, I infused into the current boots and got them to 309. So that is the point where having 310 one-to-one infusion rate would be great. My door is like, so I have, like I said, I have the window open. It's causing my door to sporadically like open and close. Well, not open and close, but like wiggle in its closed position. So that's fun. Anyways,
uh,
so I forget where we were at, but I do want to talk about what I have on screen, which is the new Taken armor, which you can
right.
only get from, correct me if I'm wrong, the level 42 Prison of Elders.
It actually comes from the Sterling Treasure boxes.
Oh, does it?
Yes,
I think I knew that. Either
because it
way.
drops at level 3, and people were like, "Oh yay, level 3! This sucks. I don't want that armor anymore." And then they found out one-to-one infusion was going to be a thing, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I want this armor now."
There is a meme for that. Like,
There is.
there in the sense of, oh boy, this is useless. What if I add this? Oh my god! Like, there's a meme for
Exactly.
that, and I can't think of it. So yes, okay. So that also drops from the Sterling Treasure, and it is not a shader.
It's not a
Everyone was
shader.
thinking it was. It is not. It is a full set of armor. So those boots that are really white and that helmet that's really black could be the only two things you're wearing, and then your chest would look really weird with it. But that is a thing, and I think
Right.
that's why they drop it level 3 because it's like you don't want to wear them until you have the full set.
Right. And when you collect the full set, you also get a new emote. It looks like it's called the Taken Jitter. You look like
Uh,
you're taken,
yeah,
and their little weird jitter that they do.
there is
It looks
there's a level where you go into the Vault of Glass in the storyline, and there's like Vex and Hobgoblins that are like twitching and can't shoot you, even if you stand right on top of them. So you essentially get that twitch,
yeah,
and it's pretty cool, I think.
it is. I'm definitely going to try my hardest to get the emote,
And speaking
even if
of, oh, sorry, go ahead.
even if it takes me forever.
Yeah, or it takes you $5 because you'll be able to buy it. I'm pretty sure. Or no, wait,
You
this
act-
is one you can't buy. My bad.
no, no, but you
But
can buy the treasure boxes, the Sterling Treasure. You can buy those from
yes,
Eververse.
you can buy those. And let's talk about two things that you can buy now. More emotes actually are in this, and the Sterling Treasure. The new emotes, by the way, I want to touch on those really quick. There are two that I want. There is the Shia LaBeouf Just Do It, which is an emote now, pretty freaking great. And then there is the Flying Crane Kick, which is even greater, where he just basically holds his arms up. Look up Flying Crane Kick. I'm not going to describe it. He just does
It's just, it's
like a
amazing.
flick and jump and kick, which I really hope if you do that taunt in front of an enemy and they let you kick them, you actually kill them. Because there are certain taunts in like Super Smash Brothers where if you get in the way of it and they actually hit you with it, you instantly die. So I want that to be a
Yeah,
thing. I
I
doubt
highly
it
doubt
is.
that's going to be
I
the case,
really want it to
but
be a thing.
that'd be pretty great.
Um, and then there's a couple other ones. There's like a little nightclub, just bumping your head to your shoulder, like popping your shoulder up and bumping your head to it or whatever.
I can't even do that.
Uh, yeah, I'm not very coordinated apparently because I can't either. What else was there? There's like a
Oh,
trying to remember what all that. There's easily 10 new ones I'd say.
there's a sumo wrestling.
Yep, there's a
You
sumo one, which would be
Yeah,
great if you had someone across from you doing it at the same time.
yep. There was during the King's Fall raid, the new raid. There's a group of acolytes that are in like this worship position.
Oh, you
Uh,
can do that position now, can't you?
yep.
Okay.
So you basically just steady yourself, not steady yourself. You straighten yourself and you bow down, and then you just hold your hands up above your head with your head bowed.
Like you were holding a weapon like they do.
Yeah, it looks pretty great. I kind of want that one,
And then
just to go into that
there's
area and do that with them.
yeah, that would be really funny. And speaking of getting down and bowing, there's "We're Not Worthy" from Wayne's World. At least that's where I know it from. Where you get down on your knees and go like "We're not worthy" and start bowing up and down.
Hmm.
Um, then there's a couple other ones I don't necessarily remember off the top of my head, but there's a lot of cool new emotes that I really want. And just as a reminder, you can actually get emotes from Nightfall level rewards, which is the Crucible Weekly and the Nightfall each week.
Yeah,
So you
Crucible weekly
theoretically have
bounties.
6 chances to get it every week if you do them all.
Yeah, Crucible weekly bounties. It should be noted.
Is that what did I say? Crucible
Well, you said
Weeklies?
Crucible weekly.
Oh, okay, yeah, Crucible
I was
Weekly
just,
bounty. It's not
I
the weekly
was,
playlist.
yeah, I was
I get what you're
just
saying.
clarifying further,
Hmm.
so people didn't come back and rage at you. I did the Crucible weekly playlist. Why didn't I get this? Curse you, Frantic.
Yep, I would accept all that rage. So that
You're
covers
gonna
a
take
lot of
this rage and you like it.
the the sterling treasures are things that can be bought. So these emotes can be bought as well. The legendary ones are 500 silver, which is the equivalent of $5, and then the rare ones are 200, which is $2. You
Yeah.
can get these emotes, and you can also get these sterling treasure boxes just by buying them, or troves, whatever they're called. I don't remember how much they are. Like a
From the stream, I think it was 500 silver, which is $5.
So you can buy one for $5, and people are mad about this. I would say probably the more diehard fans or the ones who know the game in and out because they claim it's paying to win. And Grunt and I have actually had quite a discussion with he who not, should not be named, whatever his name is. You and I had the discussion like after the stream and when people were raging about it, how it wasn't that, and it was a long discussion. I'd say probably 30 minutes where we were just like they're stupid because that's not the case. This is not pay to win. Pay to win is if I put money into this game, I'm better than you. That's pay to win. This is pay for aesthetics. I mean, in a sense, yeah, you could get the best roll on a piece of armor from spending $5, but you could also get that roll from getting a Sterling Treasure Trove from your postmaster each week.
Right.
It's
But
essentially it's paying to get the better gear faster than other people theoretically, but it's
right,
still RNG.
if you're impatient and you want to get that taken armor because it looks really cool,
Hmm.
that's why it's dropping at light level 3 and it's not automatically 335. Because I could just go, pay it'd be what, like $20 and at least, and if I had really good luck, I could get an entire set of 335 armor. It may not look the same. I may have a taken helmet or one of the other
Well,
pieces that they're introducing, but
it doesn't drop at 335 though. You still need the stuff to infuse it.
yeah. Yeah,
That's the big thing is you
yeah.
get this level 3 stuff and that's what you have. If you've done nothing else in the game, you can't pay to win. You
No.
have to get the 335, which you actually can't even get until they release a hot fix to let us get it, by the way. It's something we should note. You can only get up to 330 when this update hits. 335 will come later. I probably imagine in a week or two where they
335 will actually come from the Prison of Elders, the Challenge of Elders,
right,
actually.
but they said they wouldn't allow you to do it until they released a hot fix.
Right.
So you can't actually get it max level yet. But either way, paying to win, this is not that case. I played this game called Call of Roma, formerly known as Caesarea, which was a real-time strategy game based in the old like BC or potentially early AD, like 400 era of like
Mm-hmm.
Rome in that area. And that game was pay to win. Like it was a free to play game where we called them wallet warriors is what we called them because they could just pay money into the game and win. If you could like build one thing at a time in your city and you could only send out so many troops, but if you paid, you could build 3 things at once in each city, and you could speed up the making time of your troops. So you could theoretically just get ahead of everybody by putting money into the game, and that's pay to win. This is pay to try to get the armor you want the most with the best options or the best roll. Which the rolls at this point aren't even like exotics where you can get extra abilities. It's just like best. The one I want one that has the most intellect on it and gives me sniper rifle ammo. It's like
Right.
that stuff truly doesn't make too much of an effect on the game to even notice. Like I
Right.
think I have
And
a chess piece on my hunter who lets me have an extra sniper bullet in trials.
right. And that's the one thing I've seen a lot of these people that say, well, I can just pay a certain amount of money. I can pay $5 to get the armor I want. No, because you still need to. Your armor is still being rolled randomly, so you could not get the quote unquote god roll
Mm-hmm.
that's going to make you a absolute unstoppable person. You can use your super every 20 seconds. Don't even think that's physically possible in the game, but
No, I
who
have the
knows?
highest intellect on my hunter, and it's a 4 minute cooldown.
Yeah. See, so
Well,
I
not
think
highest intellect possible, but I have it maxed out.
I can get mine on my hunter at like 3.5 minutes.
Oh yeah, like mine's yeah.
But that's if I pump everything into intellect and have no discipline or strength or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. So if you look at that, since it's still being randomly generated whenever you get that armor, you have to look at it as how much money are you going to want to and have to dump into getting the perfect roll that meets your play style. I don't
Yeah,
think it's worth it.
it's really
And
not.
that's the biggest argument that I have seen for people saying, well, this game is getting close to pay to win. No. And
No.
I even brought that up to someone that said this game is being close to pay to win, and I humble brag, but I shut their argument down just by saying that. They
Eh,
didn't respond to me after I
You
posted
want
that.
you want
So
pay to win? Go to your iPhone or Android App Store, search for any sort of real time strategy game, and that is free to win. That's pay to win.
right when I can go to the Eververse store and buy a 335 Last Word and 335 uh, exotic piece of armor and various other sets of armor with the perks I want. That's when Destiny is pay to win. We're not even close to that point just by buying armor.
No, we are buying a chance at a piece of armor that looks cool and rolls with something we like in terms of buffing our hardly noticeable. Uh, what is the right term?
Uh,
Cooldown times.
yeah.
That that's
Drew a
where we're
blank on it
at.
there too.
I feel like it will never get past that. Like buying emotes, whoop de frickin' do. You can have the fun emote that you want that affects the game in zero. Zero. What is the right term? I can't think of words right now. It doesn't affect the game. That's the best way to put it.
Right.
So I don't think it's that
So
big of a deal. I think people are maybe more upset just because that Destiny would be getting money or Bungie would be getting money out of this, but
right,
it's
and
not that bad.
I think I've mentioned it before. I'm perfectly okay with the Eververse store. That's
Mhm.
how we got this update. I'm sure. If they wouldn't have introduced this, they probably wouldn't even. We'd probably be paying $10 for this update. I bet 15.
It's a good
We're not
point.
paying anything if we have the Taken King. So
Because the two things they released for Destiny One was uh, Dark Below and or Year
Crota's
One.
End.
Yeah, it
Crota's
was
End is Dark Below.
yeah
House of Wolves.
yeah House of Wolves and Dark Below you had to pay to get,
Right.
which
That
I would
was
say arguably has this amount of stuff in it. Like it's got a new raid boss essentially is what we get. We get a bunch of new armor. We get more weapons. Theoretically, we're already in the game, but we get a lot of stuff that we don't have yet. So yeah,
right.
that's a good point. The Eververse store could be the reason this is coming to us for free because they expect people to pay for the emotes and pay to get the armor they want. And it's not
Right.
even like it's the best armor in the game.
No.
It's
I
just the
mean,
coolest
again,
looking,
it's
which again
dropping
is
at light
purely
level
aesthetic.
3.
Yeah,
It's dropping at light level 3. You still have to earn that infusion fuel. So,
yeah. So it's not pay to win. And if anybody says that, I will gladly debate it with you on Twitter. I will discuss it with you. Hopefully not in a hostile manner. I will do my best not to be hostile, but give and you shall receive is my statement to that.
it's pretty much how I feel too.
All right, so
I mean,
we're going a little far on time here, so let's jump through the last couple of things. Like we said, they're bringing back Year One stuff, which will be gotten from Crucible and Vanguard rep packages, the legendary
so
stuff specifically.
also legendary engrams too.
Well, they said no, that they corrected that, which I have on screen actually. Mentioned
Okay.
on stream, but not actually true. Year one legendaries will drop from legendary engrams. In reality, Year one legendaries will come from Vanguard and Crucible reward packages.
Oh,
Yes.
I was wrong. I was wrong.
Yep. But that's where this whole reputation gains are increased, and we get buffs from these Sterling packages or whatever, where we can use those buffs to level up faster to try to get these weapons quicker.
Right.
So,
Vault space is also being expanded.
yes, Vault Space is
So,
being expanded. They say a tab, but it looked like they had 3 tabs instead of 2.
well, we have 2 currently.
Oh, okay.
So we'll be getting an extra tab, making it 3 tabs total.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, your vault space is for armor, weapons, and general items. It's max at 72.
Now
I
it's
think it's
jumping to
actually
108.
36 for your general items. So that'll be going up by that number again.
Yep, which
So
is
you'll have 108 weapon and
72 general, it seems.
armor slots, weapon and armor slots, and then you'll have probably 72 general items.
Yep. And that's where that all will be.
Right.
To go into the weapons real quick that are coming back, we're just going to go down them really quick. Year 1 legendary weapons that are coming back. The Devil You Know, the Shadow Price,
Good auto rifle.
the LDR 5001,
I hate that.
the Badger CCL, the Comedian, which on stream they mentioned it has the greatest flavor text ever.
It is.
It's just ah ha 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 something like that.
It is.
The Swarm, all capital. The
It's,
Y09. Oh, what?
I think the swarm was a machine gun, if I remember correctly.
Okay. The Y09 longbow synthesis. That sounds like a sniper.
It is.
The Grim Citizen 3.
I believe that's a auto rifle. If it's not an auto rifle, it's a shotgun. I'm pretty sure it's an auto rifle, though.
2 to the Morgue. I'm pretty sure is a shotgun as well.
That's a shotgun.
Zombie Apocalypse WF-47.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
Heavy machine gun that was very sought after in year 1, and I was dumb and didn't buy it.
the Saturnine Rapier,
That's a scout rifle.
and the Lord High Fixer.
Hand cannon, I believe.
Those were all the legendaries from year one that are coming back in year two. Hopefully, your favorite is on that list if it wasn't already in year two. If it's not, sorry guys. And we're also going to go into the exotics that are coming back, and I'm going to go ahead and let you know that there is no Thorn, there is no Gallahorn. A lot of people are upset by this, but I'm going to let you know right now there's a reason for that, and it's because they're all overpowered in their own sense. You never want a
Please,
game where everyone uses the same thing.
please leave salt at the door.
Yep. All right, we're going to go through them here. I have them on Instagram here. So the first one, this is actually in reverse order. They were spoiled because that's how Instagram works, and that's how I'm going to do it. So the first one is the sidearm, the Dreg's Promise.
Which that was a prison of elders weapon. You got a originally you had to beat Skolas, and then you got a exotic bounty which you had to take to Varix in the Reef. Then you had to wait for him to decode it for so long, and then you had to go kill bosses in the challenge mode to earn points, and then you got the weapon of your choice at the end.
Yep.
When year two came about, they did away with the bounties, and you could just get them from the large chest at the end on any level. Or if you were lucky like me, you could apparently get them from the legacy special weapon engrams that Zerg brings every so often.
Yep. Which he hasn't done in a while. I know a lot of people are actually upset about that.
I think we know why now.
Yeah. After that is the Sunbreaker Gauntlets, which I actually had but never got to use because I never played a Warlock till year two.
Zerg's going to bring them for 5 weeks straight.
There is also the glass house. I almost said glass hole. I don't know why. The glass house, which is like a. Oh my god, that wind is ridiculous.
The wind. There we go.
Oh
There's the name.
The glass house is a. If you can't see it on screen, it's just like a dome-looking helmet for the Titan.
Picture the dome at the Louvre Museum. Or
Yep.
Louvre, however you say that.
It's the Louvre.
So
That's exactly what it is.
picture that, or look up an image for that, and then that's it. Only color it like a sea foam green color.
Yeah.
Maybe like a teal color.
Yeah, and it looks like it has chroma.
It does actually. It looks pretty cool.
There is the Kepri's Sting.
Amazing.
They look really cool in my mind.
Yeah,
it looks like
the
a beetle
the
is on your arm. Yeah.
Yeah, the legs on the beetle, and then the
Pinchers.
pinchers. Yeah, whatever you want to call them. They actually move on the year one version. So
I hope that returns in terms of moving.
I hope so because they were really cool.
Gotcha. There's also the ACD Zero Feedback Fence, which is hard to describe how it looks. It's very sharp, blocky.
I would say like matte black solar panels, I guess, with like an orange trim around the edges of it, I guess.
That's a perfect description, actually. All after that, there is the ATS-8 Arachnid helmet, which is for hunters. Yeah, hunters.
Yes. You can basically look like a spider.
There is the Lord of Wolves. That's a shotgun.
That was also another Prison of Elders exotic weapon. Glad to see it moving forward into year two because it was just downright fun to use.
Gotcha. And then the Lucky Raspberry chess piece, which is also for a hunter.
Yup.
It's got a lot of dots on it, so kind of looks like a Chinese checkerboard a little bit.
Never thought of it that way.
The Universal Remote. The
shotguns.
That is a primary.
Yes.
Fun.
I don't. No. Not fun.
The Eternal Warrior, which is a helmet for, I think, the Titan, that is basically like a stone head, is what it looks like.
It's very creepy. Very creepy.
Yeah, it does look kind of creepy. I think we're nearing the end here. There is also the Patience and Time sniper rifle. It looks like it's ghillied up, so kind of camoed.
It is. When you aim down your sight with it for a couple seconds, you camouflage yourself, cloak yourself.
Oh, no
Kind of
way.
like the Blade Dancing Hunter can with certain perks selected.
Interesting.
So it was a cool gun to use. It's also arc damage, so it's great during arc burn.
Mm-hmm. Purifier robes.
Yes.
For when you need to go try hard in trials.
Yes.
Explain real quick what they do.
Well, he who shall not be named, again, and I, we devised a strategy using the year one version of Purifier robes back in the year one version of Trials. With the Purifier robes, activating Radiance and bringing yourself back as a Warlock from basically self-reviving yourself, it blinded any nearby enemies. So basically, what we would do is we would, especially on like the heavy round, we would just rush the other team, um, and then just basically let them kill us. And while they're gathered around our body, not realizing we're a self-resing warlock, we would revive ourselves
And blind them.
and then blind them, and they can't do anything because your screen just goes like white for I think it was like 5 seconds, maybe
Hmm.
give or take a few seconds, and it was just chaos. You could really turn the tide of a game. And if you
Hmm.
had three self-resing warlocks running that strategy, it was the other team hated you.
Hmm. I bet. And then I think the very last one, the Queensbreaker Bow, or is there one other after this?
Yep, that's it.
Okay,
Queenbreaker's bow.
which is a fusion rifle.
It's a fusion rifle, but it acts like a sniper rifle with a fusion rifle. It's
It's odd.
yes, it's odd. It's a fun weapon to use. Another Prison of Elders. It was the one of those three that was Prison of Elders obtained through the Prison of Elders.
Hmm.
It was the first one I got, and I mainly wanted it because it's like the rifles the Vandals use when they're being annoying and trying to snipe you.
Gotcha.
So it's a fun weapon to use in my mind.
And you can get
Probably
any of these from. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
probably totally useless in like Crucible and whatnot, but I don't care.
Right. You can get all of these from exotic engrams, I assume starting right when the update comes out.
I'm
And I
assuming
believe they
so.
also drop from the level 42,
Yeah,
potentially,
I would
yes.
imagine. I would imagine so. They could probably also drop again from the chest at the end of level 41 and 42 Prison of Elders.
Which do
So
not require treasure keys anymore, by the way.
nope,
They've gotten rid
open
of the
that
treasure
chest all
tree,
you want.
which is nice. You don't have to like farm for them or do like stuff for them, quests for them. And then I believe there was a couple questions asked. Uh, Essentially, I go through really quick. In the stream, Varix was no longer selling ships and shaders from year one. Those still exist. You just get them from leveling up House Judgment rank. So that's the
Uh-huh.
only way to get them now. Uh, the new stuff comes with randomly rolled bonuses like everything else. Uh, Everything is lossless in terms of the new infusion system. It's all 1-to-1. Exotics are no different. And that was the question: are exotics different? It's all the same. And then you won't be able to use your year one version of weapons. And
Well,
infuse them up essentially is what it means. So if you have a
yeah,
year one legendary, you can't infuse it into your because you can't use it as a year two. You have to get it again in year two, which
right,
upsets some people. But you get them from the reputation packages that you'll be able to get faster based on the new leveling up system
right.
or ranking up, whatever.
Reputation leveling, yeah,
Yep.
whatever.
And then uh, someone asked if there's a difference between if you have the Spectre hood and the Spectre Infinite hood because there are like they're the new Monarchy, Dead Orbit, and Future War Cult armor pieces that you can probably already have, but you can get them now with Chroma. Um, is there any significant difference? And it's basically no. It's just you can light it up. Pretty sure is what it is.
Well, that answers the one thing I talked about earlier when I
Mm,
first talked about chromas.
yep.
So it's just going to have the note on there. Bam. I
Yep.
swear I read these things.
And then last but not least in the update, it mentions the emblem from Trials of Osiris will be gone eventually, sometime soon. A
Yeah,
couple more weeks to earn it. The Hick Jacket emblem, and
it's the
then
one for going flawless 9-0 in trials and then getting to the lighthouse.
gotcha.
So that one will be going away and being replaced by another one.
Hmm. And then from there, we got the Destiny Companion app got updated. I'm pretty sure it's to show the new stuff they were talking about, like clan leaderboards and stuff like that. Community creations as well.
It looks a lot different. It's a lot easier to
Hmm.
move stuff around using it on your phone than what it is before.
Yeah.
And apparently the iOS versions of it just got updated recently, but the Android versions have been running that version for quite a while. So
Oh, really?
at least
I didn't.
according to
Hmm.
um, some tweets and posts I've read, no one using Android has said it looks different from people using iOS. So
Hmm.
who knows?
I didn't know.
Well, now you know.
And then the last bit here in the What's Up Doc section, it discusses um, chroma will be lost if you dismantle, shard, or infuse your chromized item or whatever you want to call it. It's instantaneously, so just exercise caution when you deactivate it. And then it can be you can even deactivate while your weapon is locked. So there
Yeah,
doesn't seem to be a way to lock that potentially.
yeah.
But,
And what they mean by lock is you can lock items so they're not accidentally dismantled or dismantled in a fit of rage.
hmm
So, because that happened to a lot of people. And they're like, no, I can never get this weapon back. And Bungie's like, well, yeah, that was something we overlooked. So here, you can lock your items now from dismantling them.
Yeah.
And you can still change the chromas around. Chroma, sound like I said chromosomes. That was bad. You can change the chroma around even if your item is locked from being dismantled.
Yeah. So just use that. Do that with caution. Just don't go clicking through really fast thinking you know what you're doing. Just slow it down for 5 seconds. Basically, is the best
Take
way
the
to
time
put
to
that.
read.
Yeah.
Take the time to read.
And they strongly advise you not use the postmaster for additional storage space now that there's going to be more vault space, because it seems that the stuff we'll be receiving, there's a high chance it'll be sent to the postmaster pretty often, depending on how much more stuff we get and based on your inventory space. Your inventory space isn't getting any bigger, so you're just adding
No.
more chroma into it, and that's why they've added more vault space. So use your vault to your advantage. It's basically
Yep.
this takeaway.
Yep.
And I think that's it. There's other stuff. There's like the movies of the week. There's an animation of all the exotic weapons.
Which is very cool, by the way. I
Yes.
highly recommend watching that.
And then there's this
It's
one called Ascendant, which I actually don't know what it is, but
Yeah, I didn't watch that. Do I want to quickly go over the increased reputation gains? What those are, the base value of them is
yeah,
going
I
to
hit
be.
on those, and I think that'll be pretty much it.
All right, so let's go through this quickly. Reputation gains for heroic strikes is being increased to 120 Vanguard reputation and 60 reputation to your aligned faction, like New Monarchy, Dead Orbit, Future War Cult, whatever. Crucible, you are getting 90 Crucible reputation for, I'm assuming, just completing a game. You get an additional bonus for winning, and 45 reputation towards your aligned faction. Patrols, basically going to Earth and farming for spin metal like I did last night, or whatever. Kill and collect patrol missions are offering 40 Vanguard reputation, 20 towards your aligned faction. Scan, Scout, VIP, and Taken patrols are offering 50 Vanguard reputation and 25 towards your aligned faction. Prison of Elders, level 41, is going to offer 150 House Judgment reputation, and Challenge of the Elders mode will offer 100 House Judgment reputation. You will now be able to preview, it looks like, what you can get from your faction packages, which it looks like you will be guaranteed one piece of armor or a weapon, and you have the choice of, or you have possibility, let's word correctly here, you have the possibility of getting a ship or even one of those fancy Crucible or Vanguard reputation boosts
Is that from the packages you said?
from your faction packages. Yes,
Oh,
like
nice.
Vanguard, Crucible.
I didn't know those were in there.
Yep. For like Cryptarch, you can get. You will get guaranteed item being a blue armor or weapon engram, or you will get a legendary armor or weapon engram. Possible contents include a whole bunch of shaders, a couple emblems, and either a blue or legendary class item.
Gotcha.
Your House of Judgment, which is now Judgment's Tribute, I guess is what the call of it. I never paid attention. You will get a class item or a weapon. Possible items include all of the Year 1 shaders, the Year 1 ships, an emblem. It looks like a House of Judgment boost. They even have a cool looking sparrow in there.
Nice.
3 new ships, it looks like. So
Wow.
from your factions, you get the same armor, weapon from your faction, armor or weapon, I should say, with shaders, emblems, and ships being possible items for both Future War Call, New Monarchy, Dead Orbit, and the such. Reputations not being affected, however, are Queen's Wrath and Crota's Bane. So they will be stuck at where they're at now. All others are being increased.
Gotcha. Cool.
That covers that.
Yeah. There you go. So we're going to be getting a lot more reputation. Should be getting more packages more frequently. And, well, hopefully you get your favorite Year 1 legendary weapon to drop. Because that's how you'll do it.
I'm looking forward to the zombie apocalypse.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to it all. So, like we said, save your exotic engrams. You could potentially get a new exotic weapon the day the update comes out.
Or your 2 version of Dreg's Promise.
That too. Yeah, I think I have like 4 or 5 engrams already saved up. I have a primary, a special, a helmet, and gauntlets. I just got the helmet today while I was playing, so
I have two special weapon and one pair of boots.
nice. Hopefully you get your shotgun then. You got 2 chances.
I don't want a shotgun. I
If
don't want
you
universal remote.
if you don't feel like waiting, uh, till then, you have 2 more chances to potentially get them before they come out by visiting Zur and buying Year One Legacy
Engrams.
engrams, which he's selling chess pieces until 5 a.m. Sunday morning, which by the time you hear this podcast will be too late, unless you're listening live. I have bought
Then
3
buy
of
it now.
those. I'm trying to get the Sun
Purifier robes.
Purifier robes. That's what it was. Did not get it. I got 3 different robes for the Warlock that were still good, but didn't get it. And whatever he sells next week, you could potentially get the Year One version of it, which means all you have to do is spend 150 legendary marks to buy it off the wall in the Vanguard area. Which reminds me, they're adding a lot of that stuff to the Outpost. They're adding like a Abandoned Quest kiosk and a couple other things out there.
Yep.
But they didn't outline that in this.
Eververse. Eververse is going to have a kiosk in the tower or in the reef. She already has
Yep.
one in the tower. What am
Yeah,
I
because
saying?
all the new stuff is focused on the reef, so they want to be able, like, while you're out there, they want you to be able to do stuff. So,
Right.
okay, I think that covers just about everything. I'm really looking forward to this update. And next Wednesday at the same time, which is what was it, 11?
11 Pacific,
Yeah,
2 Eastern,
two
I think.
Eastern. Yeah, they will be doing the Crucible and something else,
Sandbox.
Sandbox
Sandbox.
update, which tells us what they're going to be doing in this update to Crucible and Sandbox, whatever Sandbox means, which I'm assuming is
Uh,
just the game in general.
yep. It's going to be. They mentioned something about how weapons and subclasses will be going under the knife.
Oh,
So,
that'll be interesting. Okay.
so I'm hoping maybe there's rumor floating around out there on the interwebs. That's right. I just said interwebs. Um, about maybe a possibly new game mode coming to Crucible, game variant. So, kind of
Nice.
hoping that's true.
Everyone's rooting for custom games, but I'm assuming that's not going to come till Destiny 2.
Not going to happen.
Which I guess is fine by me. I haven't really had the need to do a custom game, but I know there's groups of like 6 to 12 people who want to do a custom game and not have to fight against people they don't know.
Yeah,
So,
it'd be great for testing out like
game variants,
weapon
yeah.
and armor builds and game variants and stuff like that. You know, so
All that stuff would be good there, yeah.
testing out armor and class builds and weapon builds and stuff like that is really the biggest reason I wanted. Because we
Yeah,
don't
that would
have an
be.
actual testing ground to try it on other than just going out and playing in a Crucible, which that's a good way to test it, yeah, but sometimes you are getting killed by all kinds of weapons and you want to do good in the game because you're trying to maybe do a bounty at the same time, so you're kind of forced into using what's right and you can't properly test it out. So
Yeah, that's a really good point. Oh, yeah. So here's hoping that they at least introduce something really cool. I hope they ban icebreakers from trials or the ability from the icebreaker and invective from trials. I don't really run into invectives, it's just icebreakers. But
icebreakers, 100% of the time.
here's hoping that that goes away and they remove the sidearm glitch.
Yeah,
That you can get special ammo when you die by having a sidearm initially. So here's hoping that those go away in the update. They probably will mention something about it, even though they've been kind of dormant on it this whole time. Because that really makes trials unfun when I just get immediately sniped by a icebreaker and I don't have ammo to combat it
yeah.
on the first
Icebreakers
round.
shouldn't even be viable in trials where
No,
level
they shouldn't.
advantage is enabled. So,
Yeah, it's a 170, isn't it? Like that's the highest it can go.
mm-hmm.
And we're at like light level 335 now. We will be like, come on, 170
Yeah,
shouldn't be able to really hurt me.
right.
So, but headshots insta kill with snipers because flavor. Anyways, all right, I think that about covers it. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you are excited for the update, just like we are. Should be really fun. We're counting down the days essentially. So,
Prison of Elders
yep,
hype.
Prison of Elders hype and awesome new stuff hype. I'm really excited.
Yep.
So, I think that about covers it. We'll get through the advertising really quick. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at FranticJ3. He's at Onyx Spartan, which is ONYX and Spartan as you would normally spell it. You can also find our main Twitter account at Frantic_Talks. That's where we tweet about any articles that we write or podcasts that we do. Typically every Saturday we tweet.
We
you
do.
can, yeah, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Frantic Talks. That's all one word. And you can also find us on Twitch every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. That is twitch.tv/FranticJ3 the third. The third is THE, the number 3RD. Some bastard took Frantic J3. I'm always
Oh,
going to be
man.
salty about that. Other than
I
that, we have a
just like
YouTube channel where these get uploaded. We don't have an official URL besides a bunch of strings of numbers and stuff. So you'll find that on the main website, frantictalks.com. When you click on any podcast, you'll see each video there, and you can go subscribe. Subscribing will get us an official URL as long as we have 100. So do
so
that.
go do that.
And I think that covers it. Is there any other ones I forgot? I mean, you can find us on iTunes. It's probably where you're listening to this right now, potentially. So I think that
You already
covers
know
it.
how to find us there.
Yeah, search
If
Frantic
not,
Talks. Well,
just
actually, just search Frantic. You'll find us.
yeah.
Interestingly enough, that's it. Okay, I think that's everything. Look forward to seeing you guys in the April update. Even though we're going to talk before then about more stuff coming to it. But other than that, thanks for listening to this, either tuning in live or listening on iTunes or wherever you did listen to. As always, you can talk to us on Twitter about anything you liked or disliked or want to just argue about. I'm always up
We don't
for a good
bite.
debate.
We don't
No, we
bite. We
really don't.
promise.
We're
Not
very
unless you
civil.
bite first, then we bite back. But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Deal what you want to be dealt.
exactly.
All right. I'm Frantic.
I'm Grunt.
We'll see you next time, guys.